For more than a century, the lighthouse on Cape Byron has provided a sense of security and a safe passage for shipping along the east coast. It is the most easterly lighthouse in Australia and the most powerful. It was commissioned back in 1901, built on a rocky headland with a sheer drop of almost 100 metres to the sea. A tall structure was not needed, so the lighthouse is only 23 metres high. The tower was constructed with concrete blocks made on site, saving the need for quarrying rocks. The lens is 2 metres in diameter, weighs 8 tonnes, and was the first lighthouse in Australia where the lens floated on mercury. It rotates during the day to reduce the risk of fire from the sun's rays. It flashes every 15 seconds right throughout the night. Julian rocks have always been a shipping hazard, even with the assistance of a continual red light beamed from the lighthouse. In earlier times, Byron Bay had a deep water jetty. Coastal shipping was the main means of transport along the east coast, as roads were totally inadequate. A regular shipping service to Byron Bay was used by many travellers. From there they could connect with the train to Lismore or Moolumbar. Bad weather often delayed ships berthing at the Byron Bay jetty. But as roads improved, this unreliable shipping service was discontinued and the jetty removed. Today, all that remains is a piece of wreckage from the ship Wollongbar that came to grief near the jetty during a bad storm. A stark reminder of the dangers to shipping berthing at a coastal port. Glenda has many memories of Byron Bay and the light on the hill.
I've just been looking through some old family photographs. I've certainly got some memories of Byron Bay and the lighthouse. My grandfather owned a farm at Ewingsdale, which is just outside Byron Bay, and I remember my dad telling me when he was a boy how the light from the lighthouse would flash into his bedroom window every night. When I was growing up, we often went down to visit the farm, and without fail we always made a trip down to Byron Bay. Firstly down to the jetty, which was still there in those days. Often small fishing boats would be sheltering on the deck from the rough weather. And from there it was up to the lighthouse. At that time my grandfather knew the lighthouse keeper, and he always used to take us up the stairs to the top so we could admire the view. I even got friendly with the lighthouse cat. Now, 70 years later, we visited the lighthouse and I stood in almost the same spot. Not much has changed, but of course the light is automated now, and sadly there's no cat.
The lighthouse on the headland has always attracted visitors from around the world to enjoy the seascapes. During the winter months, thousands come to watch and monitor the whales as they migrate up and down the coast. Kite flyers take off from a site just below the cape to get that aerial view of the lighthouse. In earlier times there was a herd of goats living on the steep cliffs below the lighthouse. Quite a tourist attraction. However, they became a nuisance to the local residents and were removed in 2003. In 1985, a well-constructed track was built from the lighthouse to the most easterly point on the mainland. Most visitors to the lighthouse make this significant walk. There are a number of well-known lighthouses around Australia's coastline, but many are in remote places and almost impossible to get to. Byron Bay Lighthouse is something special. Marking the most easterly point on the Australian mainland, it has always been accessible. A great place to take in the beautiful seascapes and admire this historic landmark. Each night it becomes the light on the hill.